Now that I have used the GovAssist new process tool to create a form from the original PDF document, I'll be able to further configure the new permit data in my Permits app. From the Document Processor app, I'll find my Permits app. Here, I can see that the entrance permit application has been added to my menu. Now, this building block, called Entities, is the GovAssist equivalent to creating a database for each of your permits. So, not only can you intake and store new permit applications with a form, you can also add related data points to support internal operations. Here are the fields that were automatically added to this database when I uploaded my PDF and it was scanned by the system. Before we make any changes, let's first take a look at a side-by-side with these fields next to the original PDF document. Here we can see that the system automatically detected all of the fields such as owner, phone, address, new building address, the for what use, name of contractor or builder, contractor address, which we can see the system automatically added the context since we already had a address field before. Then the applicant signature, again adding context to this field, applicant address as a third address field on this form, and a date field automatically selected as a date type data point, in which in a form a calendar selection will be added instead of a typical text field. Great. Now I also would like to include a few internal data points that the applicant won't see. Let me first reopen this menu so that we can reference our other entities. And then I'm going to click Add Field. The first field I'd like to add is going to be a text area type. This is just a field that allows for longer text, like paragraphs, to be included. I'm going to name this field Reviewer Comments. And I also want that to be the visible label as well. Great, my field was added and I can adjust it if needed, but for now it looks good. Let's add another field. This time I'm going to add a drop-down field and I'll name it Reviewer Status. Now I'll add my drop-down options, which will be denied, canceled, and approved. Now my field has been added and we can see that the drop-down field type indicator is put here. Now finally I want to add one last field, and this field is going to be an associated field. This means that I'm going to associate another entity from my permit application to my entrance permit application. In this case, I'm going to pick my user's entity. And instead of calling it users, I'm going to call it my reviewer assignee. Now that I've added the reviewer assignee field as an associated field, within my data, I'll be able to select from my available users to assign them to new entrance permit application records. So if I were to add a record manually, you can see I could add each individual record field. I can add the date via a calendar interface. I can add a whole paragraph of comments if wanted. I can update the reviewer status. And I can select from my available users entity or database. Next, let's navigate to the form that the applicant will see. This is added as a form under our entrance permit application entity. The form has also been automatically segmented into these sections, similar to the original PDF document. Here I can move these fields as well if I'd like. So this whole section, called the agreement and signature section, should probably be down at the bottom, like so. And the contractor information, if I remember correctly, came before that. And the applicant information before that. So now this looks closer to the PDF. And one more thing I noticed is the for what use field in the original PDF had this starting phrase, entrance to. So this is essentially some extra information for the applicant to give them some context on how they should fill this field. I'm going to click on this specific field, and now I can configure this field, and I'm going to input a default value similar to the PDF. From this configuration menu, I can also add placeholder text, a field description. I can mark the field as required, or I can add granular validation rules like length limits or pattern rejects. Great, now that I've configured the form, let's see how it looks to the end user. I'll click Share Form, then I'll copy that live link, and I'll open it in a new tab. Alright, here's our form, and we can go ahead and fill it. Notice the for what use starts with entrance to, and I can continue from here. After I've filled out this application fully, I can submit it. Then I'll simply close this out and return to the application. And now, if I want to see that form submission, I can go to my entrance permit application, records view. Now, here we can see all of the information I just entered and submitted using the form. And as a user, I can click to either view or edit this form, where I can then submit any tasks that are also associated, such as reviewing this information as an internal team member. Now that I've updated that record as an internal user, my updates are reflected on the record itself.